Ta-da!
Yeah, as a choreographer and technologist, I think that historical role playing is going to have a very large impact on the way that we approach current issues nowadays, like the Black Lives Matter movement and the Me Too movement, because these movements are just trying to establish that these people that they're representing are important as well. They are just as valuable as anybody else, and a lot of people who are far removed from those experiences just don't consider that in their daily lives, and that comes from a lack of empathy, a lack of being able to relate to those experiences. And so historical role playing would amend that essentially, just by being able to be put in those people's shoes. I think that it would make amends to a lot of relationship problems that we have in the world today. I'd say that just working on this project has really opened my mind to the possibilities that are in reach for one who is able to work with technology. And so it's really made me excited. I never thought I would be able to work on something that would provide an educational basis for future generations. So really for me right now, the possibilities are kind of endless, and I can't really name a few, but Felix is definitely among one of those amazing possibilities that can come in the future. Absolutely. I mean, I think that right now in the current state of VR, we have that blocking, but we're starting to get hints of that two-way connection that you were mentioning earlier. It's now we're able to incorporate synaptic feedback. So if you were to touch a block in the VR space, you would really feel that through the usage of a glove in your own space. And I think that as time goes on, there'll be less interacting on the physical plane in VR and more sort of temporary uploading your consciousness into this virtual space. And in that way, I think that when it comes to role playing, we're going to literally be inhabiting other bodies. And that experience of just inhabiting another body, of being another person in a virtual space that resembles the real world in many ways, probably in like 100 years in a century, is going to have insane implications for just how we think and how we put each other in each other's shoes. We'll literally be doing that, so only naturally over time our empathy will increase.
Would that be too?
The perfect job for me would probably be a job that would be able to sustain me, obviously with little work, right? I'm not trying to say that because I'm lazy. I'm trying to say that because I would like to pursue personal goals of mine in the future. And so the perfect job would sort of be that balance. It would either, I would be able to go in, work my own hours, come out, and then work on my own personal goals, which would probably revolve around the VR space or in robotics, just in anything that I hope will dramatically change our experience for the better in the future.
That's very cool. I was thinking you're going to be doing dancing. I thought, wow, that's so cool.
Oh no, I might be doing dancing too. I mean,
so cool.
well, just in terms of tech, because we're just talking in the tech sphere right now. That's what.
No,
Yeah, no, but it could be dance. It could be dance, and I've thought of that too. Yeah.
Because there's some people that are like, I've met some people that are doing dance, but they're using technology too in terms of choreography.
Literally just yesterday on So Youth, I think it's America's Got Talent actually.
Oh, okay.
There was like this group of people that used these LED, clothing lights and these synchronous movements, and it's really cool. I mean, we can incorporate all sorts of cool stuff in the future. It's crazy, especially just AR. Incorporating AR with dance would be incredible. I mean,
Oh my God.
I can imagine like light shows, maybe traces of light, following, certain limb patterns that people like be moving in. It's
Wouldn't it be cool like if you're in a theater?
right.
You're not just the spectator.
Mhm.
You are now part of the whole experience.
Oh,
You are
100%.
now generating some of these other props or whatever it is.
Oh yeah. I never thought about it that way.
Yeah.
What really just comes to mind for me is just I want to see some application of that with the dance style capoeira, because I would think it could be gorgeous in terms of like light shows, or if it had like AR characters that also came out and interacted with dancers. My perfect job 5 years from now really depends on what I'm going to be doing this year. So if I do VR or AR around this time, then my perfect job would be probably robotics in the future and vice versa. But what would really make it perfect is if I can tie those fields to actually helping people out socially. Just like, as we were talking about the Black Lives Matter movement, the Me Too movement, if there's a way for me to also incorporate technology into that to make that maybe more transparent for people that don't know these movements, don't know this information, make it more accessible in a way that we never thought before, that's able to change how people think and interact with these groups and ideas. I'm all for it. Yeah, I envision those future contributions to be, again, in the social sphere, but I also hope that on the level of the individual that I'm able to contribute just this idea of personal power that we all have, individual power, to generally just alleviate the sense that we are victims in this world, and that we can always have an impact, we always have a choice to have a positive impact on this world. That's what I hope to impart.